For years, we were told they were safe havens, cities where the real estate boom would never end, where values were built on solid rock, immune to the wild recklessness of the past. But in 2025, that comforting myth is being violently shattered. Across the American landscape, the housing crash isn't a forecast or a theory, it's a full-blown disaster unfolding in real time. Once thriving markets are now tragically submerged, drowning in endless listings and choked by relentless price cuts. Home values are experiencing an outright collapse, plummeting by tens of thousands of dollars. And for countless families, the economic fallout is proving to be even more brutal than the dark days of 2008. Builders are openly frantic. Buyers have simply vanished from the market, and investors, once eager to speculate, are now engaged in a frantic race to dump properties before the entire market implodes completely. From the sun-scorched stretches of suburban deserts to the serene calm of coastal retreats, no region is truly safe from this brutal reckoning. Hard-earned home equity is evaporating overnight, and crushing mortgage payments are suffocating families, turning the cherished American dream into a waking financial nightmare. These 10 housing markets are not merely facing a crisis, they are the undeniable epicenters of this unprecedented collapse. And the pain, tragically, has only just begun.
Number 10. Salt Lake City, Utah. Nestled amidst majestic peaks, the Silicon Slopes became a testament to rapid tech growth and a magnet for those seeking both career opportunities and unparalleled outdoor lifestyle. Its housing market boomed, and builders responded furiously. But in 2025, Salt Lake City's housing market is flashing critical warning signs, and its aggressive new construction pace might have climbed higher than buyer demand, leaving a noticeable inventory of brand new homes standing empty. Salt Lake City's incredible rise was fueled by an explosion of tech companies and a continuous influx of young, affluent professionals. This led to a substantial increase in median home prices, which peaked around $650,000. The sheer volume of new supply, combined with the persistent hurdle of 7% mortgage rates, has created an imbalance. Median household incomes around $90,000 are high, but homes here still cost upwards of $550,000 plus, making the monthly payments a stretch for even these well-compensated individuals. New home inventory in the Salt Lake City metro has surged by over 40% year over year. Developers who once enjoyed brisk sales are now reporting significant completed but unsold inventory. The average days on market for a new build has climbed to 95 days, a stark contrast to the rapid sales of 2022. Desperate to move properties, builders are offering aggressive incentives, free basement finishes, designer upgrades, and direct price reductions of $30,000 to $50,000. While the long-term prospects for Salt Lake City remain robust, the immediate future sees its housing market grappling with the consequences of overzealous construction.
Number 9. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The city of brotherly love, a historic metropolis that has undergone a remarkable revitalization, attracting new residents and seeing its property values climb. But in 2025, if the U.S. economy enters a recession, Philadelphia's housing market could face a significant downturn, with values potentially falling by 15 to 20%, surprising many who only see its steady growth. Philadelphia's housing market has seen growth driven by urban renewal, a strong healthcare and education sector, and its relatively lower cost compared to NYC or Boston. This led to a substantial increase in median home prices, which peaked around $300,000. However, a significant economic downturn would directly impact local job markets in services and manufacturing, leading to job losses and reduced income. This would be particularly devastating for a city where many homeowners are already managing high costs relative to their wages. The median home price has now dropped to around $255,000, a brutal 15% decline. The risk for Philadelphia lies in its affordability. With mortgage rates near 7%, the median home price is now an immense lift for a local median income of $58,000. Inventory has already surged by over 20% year over year. In a recession, this new supply would sit even longer, average 85 days, leading to aggressive price cuts. The combination of economic strain, a high cost of living for its income levels, and the burdens of older homes positions Philadelphia for a painful 2008-esque repricing in 2025, threatening a significant loss of equity for those who bought at the peak.
Number 8. Denver, Colorado. The mile-high city, renowned for its breathtaking mountain views, vibrant outdoor culture, and booming tech scene, became an undeniable magnet for remote workers and young professionals. Its housing market soared, reflecting immense desirability. But in 2025, Denver's elevated housing market is flashing critical warning signs, and if economic conditions worsen, it could face a sharp and painful collapse, proving that even a highly desirable location isn't immune to economic gravity. Denver's growth was driven by its thriving tech industry, outdoor lifestyle appeal, and a continuous influx of high-earning residents. This combination led to substantial price appreciation, over 50% since 2020, making it one of the most expensive markets in the interior U.S. However, a national recession would directly impact Denver's tech sector, leading to widespread layoffs and hiring freezes, as seen in previous economic downturns. This would drastically curtail the influx of buyers and erode the purchasing power of existing homeowners. The alarming risk for Denver lies in its already stretched affordability and the prevalence of a buyer pool with high debt-to-income ratios. With current 7% mortgage rates, affordability is already a critical concern. Job losses in a recession would immediately put immense pressure on homeowners, potentially forcing an overwhelming increase in inventory as residents can no longer afford payments. Inventory has already surged, up 38% year over year, and homes are sitting longer, average 75 days. In a true meltdown scenario, this surplus would overwhelm reduced demand, leading to widespread price reductions and a painful erosion of equity, reminiscent of the widespread financial devastation seen in 2008.
Number 7. Sacramento, California. For many, this state capital represented the affordable Bay Area escape, a haven that swelled with residents fleeing coastal prices during the pandemic. But Sacramento's rapid boom and its prior painful history in 2008 make it a top contender for a severe housing meltdown in 2025. It's a market where the dream of escape has dangerously inflated into a fragile bubble. Sacramento's meteoric rise was fueled by an unsustainable influx of buyers from the Bay Area, pushing home prices up by over 40% between 2020 and 2022. The median home price peaked around $540,000. However, in 2025, that figure is visibly plummeting to around $450,000, a brutal 16.7% drop, or a staggering loss of $90,000. If you're finding this deep dive into America's collapsing markets essential for your understanding, please gently hit that subscribe button to Discover the Nation. Your support fuels our vital investigations. The alarming parallel to 2008 lies in its reliance on external demand and affordability stretch. With mortgage rates near 7%, the median home price is now an immense lift for a local median income of $75,000. Inventory has surged dramatically, up 46% year over year, as more homes hit the market than buyers can absorb. Price cuts are rampant. In a true meltdown scenario, this trend would accelerate as Bay Area migration has slowed and investors retreat. Sacramento's history of being an epicenter in the 2008 crash, coupled with its overvaluation from the pandemic-era boom, positions it precariously for a repeat meltdown in 2025, threatening a significant loss of equity for those who bought at the peak.
Number 6. Tampa, Florida. This city was once the rock star of Florida's real estate scene. Fast-growing, full of jobs, and absolutely booming in the early 2020s. Its rapid ascent, fueled by an intoxicating mix of genuine growth and heavy investment, marked it as a significant early flashpoint where a dangerous housing bubble began to dangerously inflate. Between 2021 and 2022, this Gulf Coast hotspot became a magnet for remote workers, retirees, and crucially, Wall Street-backed investors chasing sunshine and profits. This insatiable demand pushed average home prices to $383,410 in 2022, creating unsustainable price appreciation that far outpaced local wage growth. The frenzied bidding wars were a clear symptom of the bubble's formation. But in 2025, that glow has faded fast. Prices have dipped to $360,130. The red flag waving hardest is exploding housing inventory, up more than 55% since last year. Homes that once sold in under 2 weeks are now sitting for 75 to 90 days. The short-term rental market is crushed, with thousands of Airbnb landlords flooding the resale market. And then there's the critical issue of buyer financing, with mortgage rates hovering around 7.5%, pricing out buyers. Tampa's aggressive growth, once its strength, has left it with overvaluation and oversupply, the very hallmarks of a bubble now beginning to burst. If current trends persist, a significant correction is absolutely on the table, threatening widespread financial devastation.
Number 5. Boise, Idaho. Boise isn't just in a housing downturn, it's rapidly becoming ground zero for the 2025 housing collapse, a chilling and powerful testament to how quickly a pandemic boom can turn into a devastating bust. Few cities in America can match the explosive, unsustainable growth Boise experienced during the COVID housing boom. Between 2019 and 2022, the median home price here soared from $285,000 to nearly $575,000, a staggering 100% increase. But what goes up at such a reckless speed in real estate usually comes crashing down harder, and Boise is already tumbling headfirst into disaster. By 2025, the initial cracks have transformed into terrifying chasms. Inventory has exploded, an unprecedented glut, and homes that once vanished in bidding wars now languish for 140 to 150 days as demand utterly dries up and investors engage in a desperate race for the exits. Boise was utterly flooded with new residents and investors during the boom, especially remote workers and tech transplants who recklessly bid up prices. With rents falling and mortgage costs relentlessly rising, the financial math simply doesn't work anymore. Some desperate investors are now dumping properties at fire sale prices just to mitigate their colossal losses. Simultaneously, local families are being ruthlessly priced out. With interest rates stubbornly above 7%, the monthly cost to buy a median-priced home is now over $3,800. Another critical pressure point is reckless overbuilding. The city's outskirts are tragically littered with half-empty subdivisions. Experts grimly predict Boise could face a brutal 60% price collapse, ruthlessly returning home values to pre-2015 levels. In many chilling ways, this is déjà vu from 2008, but potentially even more dangerous because this time the overvaluation is broader and the economic headwinds are demonstrably stronger.
Number 4. Miami, Florida. This glittering, iconic global city, a magnet for luxury tourism, international investment, and vibrant culture, experienced an unparalleled housing boom. Its radiant sunshine seemed to promise immunity from economic woes. But in 2025, if the U.S. economy enters a recession, Miami's housing market could face a severe and painful collapse, with values potentially falling by 18 to 22% as its core drivers falter.
Miami's explosive growth was fueled by its booming tourism and hospitality sectors, a continuous influx of international capital seeking safe haven, and an appealing lifestyle. Builders responded by pouring concrete for luxury condos and high-end homes at a furious pace. However, a national recession would directly cripple the tourism industry, leading to widespread job losses in hospitality and related service sectors. Discretionary spending cuts would empty hotel rooms and casinos, sending devastating ripple effects throughout the local economy. International investment, highly sensitive to global economic uncertainty, could rapidly retreat, pulling massive capital out of the market. The danger for Miami is compounded by Florida's escalating and crippling property insurance crisis, which already adds thousands to home ownership costs. In a deep recession, this burden would become unbearable for many, triggering widespread defaults. The sheer volume of new luxury inventory built during the boom would sit empty as demand for high-end second homes or investment properties plummets. Mortgage rates at 7% would make luxury purchases untenable for most buyers. Miami's market, built on a foundation of tourism and external investment, is uniquely susceptible to cuts in discretionary spending and global capital flows. A meltdown could trigger widespread price corrections, mass liquidations, and devastating equity losses.
Number 3, Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas thrives on risk, but this time the house is unequivocally losing. After a wild, pandemic-era boom, the Vegas housing market is now collapsing faster than a busted flush. From 2020 to early 2022, median home prices in Las Vegas shot from $290,000 to over $460,000. That's a staggering 58% spike, recklessly driven by remote workers, eager out-of-state investors, and dirt-cheap interest rates. But by 2025, the cards have devastatingly turned, and Vegas is heading for a housing bust that could tragically rival 2008. The market is in an alarming freefall. Inventory is ballooning relentlessly. The number of active listings has more than doubled in the past year alone. Homes that once sold in a weekend now sit for 3 to 4 months. Price reductions are ubiquitous. Over 40% of all listings are now being aggressively discounted, many by $50,000 to $150,000. The primary culprits? Reckless overbuilding and rampant overspeculating. Thousands of new homes were erected across suburbs like Summerlin and Henderson, foolishly targeting middle-class Californians and investors who blindly believed the Vegas boom would last forever. But now that speculative investor class is in full liquidation mode. Rents are visibly dropping, and critical Airbnb income has utterly dried up. Mortgage rates, stubbornly over 7%, have transformed once hot Vegas homes from prized commodities into financial deadweight. Even worse, local wages never justified the frenzied price run-up. Las Vegas remains dangerously reliant on tourism, hospitality, and entertainment jobs, many of which haven't returned to pre-COVID strength. That makes the market exceptionally sensitive to broader economic slowdowns. Should current grim conditions persist, analysts grimly expect home values could regress to pre-2015 levels, meaning a brutal 60% plus correction is absolutely on the table. In Las Vegas, the real estate dream has brutally materialized as just another illusion, now melting under the intense heat of higher rates, weak demand, and a catastrophic oversupply, leaving widespread financial devastation in its wake.
Number 2, Phoenix, Arizona. Topping our list as the single worst city where the housing boom has officially died in Arizona in 2025, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix isn't just in a housing downturn, it's rapidly becoming ground zero for the state's housing collapse, eerily mirroring its painful role as an epicenter in 2008. Few cities in America can match the explosive, unsustainable growth Phoenix saw during the COVID housing boom. Between 2019 and 2022, the median home price here soared from $280,000 to nearly $510,000, a staggering 82% increase. But what goes up at such a reckless speed in real estate usually comes crashing down harder, and Phoenix is already tumbling headfirst into disaster. By 2025, the initial cracks have transformed into terrifying chasms. Inventory has quadrupled, an unprecedented glut, and over 55% of listings now conspicuously feature price reductions, some by $100,000 or more. Homes that once vanished in frenzied bidding wars now languish for 90 to 120 days as demand utterly dries up and investors engage in the desperate race for the exits. With rents falling and mortgage costs relentlessly rising, the financial math simply doesn't work anymore. Some desperate investors are now dumping properties at fire sale prices just to mitigate their colossal losses. Simultaneously, Phoenix locals are being ruthlessly priced out. With interest rates stubbornly above 7%, the monthly cost to buy a median-priced home is now over $3,800. Experts grimly predict Phoenix could face a brutal 60% price collapse, ruthlessly returning home values to pre-2015 levels. In many chilling ways, this is déjà vu from 2008, but potentially even more dangerous because this time the overvaluation is broader and the economic headwinds are demonstrably stronger. Phoenix isn't just falling, it's unequivocally leading the crash.
Number 1. Austin, Texas. Topping our list as the single worst city facing a 2025 housing collapse, Austin, Texas. Austin isn't just in a housing downturn, it's rapidly becoming ground zero for the 2025 housing collapse, eerily mirroring its painful role as an epicenter in 2008. Few cities in America can match the explosive, unsustainable growth Austin experienced during the COVID housing boom. Between 2019 and 2022, the median home price here soared from $340,000 to over $670,000, a jaw-dropping 97% increase. But what goes up at such a reckless speed in real estate usually comes crashing down harder, and Austin is already tumbling headfirst into disaster. By 2025, the initial cracks have transformed into terrifying chasms. Inventory has quadrupled, an unprecedented glut, and over 55% of listings now conspicuously feature price reductions, some by $100,000 or more. Homes that once vanished in frenzied bidding wars now languish for 90 to 120 days as demand utterly dries up and investors engage in a desperate race for the exits. Austin was utterly flooded with new residents and investors during the boom, especially remote workers and tech transplants who recklessly bid up prices. Many of those properties are now catastrophically underwater. With rents falling and mortgage costs relentlessly rising, the financial math simply doesn't work anymore. Some desperate investors are now dumping properties at fire sale prices just to mitigate their colossal losses. Another critical pressure point is reckless overbuilding. The city's outskirts are tragically littered with half-empty subdivisions. Builders are offering massive, unprecedented incentives, aggressively dragging down comps in the process.
The message is clear. The 2025 housing crash is no longer a prediction. It's a full-blown disaster unfolding in real time. Across America, once booming cities are now drowning in listings, price cuts, and desperate sellers. From desert suburbs to coastal retreats, no region is safe. Equity is vanishing overnight, and mortgage payments are crushing families. The American dream didn't disappear here, but it did get distorted. Builders are panicking, buyers have vanished, and investors are racing to dump properties before the market implodes. So if you're looking to buy in these markets, be cautious, be informed, and be strategic. Not every sunny promise hides a paradise. Some are planted in markets that won't recover for years. Don't forget to like this video, share it with anyone who needs to see this vital information, and of course, hit that subscribe button to discover the nation. We'll see you in the next video, because sometimes knowing where not to buy can be the best investment decision of all.